Hi, and welcome back to Temple Baptist Church Online Devotion. I'm glad that you're with me today. I'm in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, beginning in verse 1. And this is entitled Boldness. Paul writes to the church in Thessalonica, "For you yourselves know, brethren, that our coming to you was not in vain. But even after we had suffered before and were spitefully treated at Philippi, as you know, we were bold in our God to speak to you the gospel of God in much conflict." When we look at this, we think about boldness as Paul and his colleagues came into Thessalonica. They didn't come in with a chip on their shoulder. They came in with humble hearts. Their boldness wasn't in themselves or in the words that they would speak, but their boldness was in God and in His message. They knew that they were there to share the gospel. And where the gospel is being shared, there is the power of God at work through the messenger, but also at work in the hearts, the minds, the ears, and the lives of those who are the audience, hearing the gospel shared. Satan is also at work. And we know that in Thessalonica, Satan was at work in many of the Jews to stir up trouble so that Paul and his colleagues would have to be run out of town. But there were many who chose to believe the gospel message. God was at work in their hearts and in their lives. And so Paul's boldness here was not a boldness that was there so that he could handle trials and go from day to day and just kind of make it through the situation, but it was a boldness to speak, to preach, to share, to make sure that all of those with whom he had an opportunity to talk with would be able to hear the gospel and have an opportunity to believe in Jesus as Lord. For us today, the Holy Spirit gives us that same boldness. We ourselves don't go before others with the boldness in ourselves, but the boldness to speak that comes from God and His Holy Spirit at work in our life. And that boldness is a humble boldness because we're not pointing people toward anything else other than salvation by faith in Jesus Christ. I hope that you've experienced God's powerful work in your life and that daily God gives you opportunities to speak as His ambassador, to share the message of the gospel. And I would pray that as you do, He gives you the boldness, knowing that you do not speak on your own accord, but you speak from the Holy Spirit empowering you with His message. If you've never trusted in Jesus Christ, you can't know the power of God at work in your life, and you can't know His boldness at work in your life. And so I would trust that you would say, if you've never trusted in Jesus, today is the day that I want to trust in Him. Today, Lord, I put my faith in You, and I ask You to forgive me, and I ask You to make me the person You want me to be. Would you do that? And when you do, the boldness of God would begin to take shape within your heart and your mind because of the power of His Holy Spirit indwelling you. At Temple Baptist Church, we want to help you grow in your faith. And if you don't have a church home, we encourage you to come and join us here at Temple. We meet on Sundays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 6 p.m., and on Wednesday at 7 p.m. I pray that God blesses you richly, that you're able to experience His power in your life, His presence from moment to moment, and that He gives you the boldness to open your mouth, to speak for Him, to testify to the goodness of His grace through Christ. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.